Today I'm going to be replacing a Uconnect screen, an 8.4-inch Uconnect screen to be specific, in this 2018 Dodge Charger. This procedure is very similar across the board, but I'm going to show you exactly how to do it in the Charger, at least to remove the screen, and then beyond that the process is going to be exactly the same for actually replacing the screen on the unit. I want to say right off the top here, we've got a new screen from CueScreens. This was paid for. They didn't send this. This is not sponsored. They have no idea I'm putting this in. They've got lots of videos on this, but I thought I would shoot a video on it because I wanted to cover specifically this Charger application, and I also wanted to get a real world, not paid, not sponsored, none of that. How does it go? What's the quality of this thing seem like? Did a little bit of research before ordering this, and it looked like this was pretty much the company to go to. It is about $350, so it is not inexpensive. There are cheaper options out there, but this looked like the best. It resolves the problem that this partially has. This one is delaminating, and it also is hit. So it is totally non-functional at this point. It lights up, but the touch screen doesn't work, and it is kind of a disaster. So that's why this is gonna happen. But this looks like the best option that I could tell. Is there a better one out there? Maybe, I don't know. I was shooting for a really good replacement, so that's why I ordered this one. We'll find out if it is everything that I thought it was cracked up to be, or if maybe it's not all that great of a replacement. But that's the agenda for today. As always, I'll link everything in the description below. The link to purchase this. There again, this isn't sponsored, but I'm just telling you where I got this stuff to make it easy for you if you've got to do the same job. So let's get right into this car. Here's a list of the tools you're going to need for this job. A little pry bar, plastic in this case, which is provided with the kit. A small screwdriver, which they recommend not using, and I found to be quite useful. And then, in my case, I use this 12-volt Hercules impact with a number 2 Phillips bit on it. You can use a regular screwdriver. You do not need to use a power tool in this case, but this just makes the job a little quicker. So here we are in the vehicle, and as you can see, it's delaminating all across the top, and it also took an impact right there, which kind of spiderwebbed everything. So the touchscreen is totally non-responsive at this point, and that's why we're doing this repair. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop off this whole dash bezel, which can swing one way or the other. It's just clips, so theoretically it should be easy. Sometimes I've seen these things really fight on the way out. But the important thing is to know where to pull and pry and how much force to put on it and when to look somewhere else because you're doing this the wrong way. So I'm going to show you what I think is the easiest way to pull this off and the joint that comes out. I've already opened this up just a little bit here, and it does come with a pry tool, which is dual purpose. It is both to actually pry the screen off of the base as well as pulling the dash bezel off of the dash. So we're gonna start, and this is gonna be off frame a little bit here, but the dash bezel ends on the outside of this chrome trim ring here, or silver trim ring, all the way around. It goes around the gauge cluster, around 3 vents on the dash. So I'm gonna start just to the left of the steering column on the bottom below that chrome strip, and I'm gonna slide the tool in. I'm gonna pull a little bit, and okay, this one's already looking like an easy one. And we're gonna just, once we get the corner out, which has already happened, you may honk. Then we're gonna kind of work our way around, and we actually probably don't need the tool anymore at this point. We're just gonna work our way around and continue to pull on this bezel. And there we go. Looks like it mostly came out good. There's a couple of the metal clips. We've got plastic clips and some metal ones, and there's a couple of these metal clips that stuck in the car. So we're just gonna pop those out and put those back on the dash. And I see we've got one captured there. So we'll deal with that later, but there is step 1, getting that out of the way. And now we'll set that aside, and actually these vents are supposed to stay in that bezel. So we'll pull that vent out, And on the driver's side, other side of the steering column, we got another one. So we'll pop those back in before we reinstall that. But we're down to the screen, and we now have 4 Phillips screws to take out. So I'm going to grab my driver, and we'll zip those right out. We'll get all 4 of those screws out, and then we can pull this right out. We'll flip it on its face, and then we can unplug all of these connectors. And they are all color-coded, so you can pretty much just pull them out, and it'll be self-explanatory where they go when it comes time to put it together again. On this last large one, we've got a little arm that needs to swing over, and there's a tab right here that we need to press on to release it, and now we can swing it up and unplug it. And it's as simple as that. We've now got the screen out, and now we can go and swap out the actual surface of it. I'm going to do my best to make this a well-lit video showing a good example of how to do this. So we're going to start with our bad unit here, and the first thing we need to do is take this cover off, which has 8 tabs that hook it on. So we're going to use the pry tool provided by CueScreens, and we're just going to pry these out. It's a thin sheet metal, so we should be able to pry them out and have them stay out. I know CueScreens recommends using a plastic pry tool so as not to damage anything else. I am second guessing that at this point because it's kind of hard to get it into some of these. The more open ones, not so bad. As you can see there. And there's adhesive here, and I don't know if it runs down. They mentioned that as well. I don't know if it runs down or if it's just supposed to be there, but it is sticky. So you'll probably want to try and avoid that. So I am now going against their recommendation, and this is why this is a real world video and not the manufacturer's video, because I can't get in here with their little pry tool, but I can easily get in here with a screwdriver. And just be careful while you're doing this so that you don't damage anything else. You can see, you can even sneak that up from the bottom there where that pry tool definitely wouldn't work. And we'll spin it around. And that just made really quick work. Now we're watching for the wire, and there the wire is right at the bottom there. So we've got all this adhesive, which is kind of gross, but that's about as much length as we can get with the wire. So we'll pull those adhesive strings out of the way, and now we can flip this over and set it down. Now we've got 6 screws to loosen up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to use my driver to do that with the number 2 bit, and I'm just going to delicately remove them. They are not very tight. And then we can take them out. CueScreens says that these are all the same length. We'll confirm that. They are in fact all the same length. We can set those aside. And now we are supposed to grab the whole assembly, screen and all, and carefully flip it over. And then we can lift this off. And so we can see we've got a circuit board in here that's a little loose. And now what we need to do is flip these little tabs up to take out the ribbon cables. That's very easy to do. And our screen should be free other than some adhesive strings. We're going to slide this assembly up out of the way. We'll set the screen down, and now we'll get our new screen out. I'll slide this mostly off camera. We'll grab our CueScreens box, open it up. I'm not sure if this is for installing the ribbon cables. We've got some notes in here, a packing slip. We'll set that aside. We'll take the foam off. And here is our new screen with protective cover on it. We'll set the box aside. We'll leave the protective cover on this for the moment. We'll flip this over to match up with the screen we took out. And now we need to change over this ribbon cable, this display ribbon cable. We're going to start by flipping this tab up on the new one. We'll come over here, we'll flip this tab up on the old one. It removes very easily. Now we're done with this. We'll slide that totally off camera. We'll slide the new one in. Now, if you look close, if I can get this well lit, it is a T. There's little tabs there, if you want to call it that, but it is a T fitting, and so those little tabs need to be placed in the corresponding slots on the new screen, which was quite easy. Now we'll set this aside. We're ready to install it back in the old housing. We'll slide the housing over. We'll grab this. We will place the first ribbon cable in place. This is honestly very easy. Sometimes this stuff is really tedious and everybody makes it look far easier than it is. This was very easy. Now we can flip this screen back into place here. And now we're going to need to peel the protective layer off. And there is our nice new screen. I don't even want to touch it and get fingerprints on it. And then we can swing this back up. Now the thing I'm going to do before I put it into place is I'm going to bend these tabs back into their straight position so that when I place this on here, they'll all latch. Then we can flip this over, make sure everything is lined up. Okay, that was also quite easy. Now we're gonna grab a hold of the whole assembly, which probably isn't going anywhere anyways, but we're flipping it back over again since we've got that bezel locked on there. We're gonna drop our screws back in here. Now, it might not be a bad idea to do this by hand. I'm using a 12-volt tool here. And I'm just very lightly running these in, but you never have the feel that you would doing it by hand. All right. And we are now ready to reinstall this in the vehicle. I just want to get a shot of this before we install the new one even. This original one was just bad. Not only did it have that impact damage where that light's reflecting there, that spiderwebbed everywhere, but you can see the delamination all across, probably roughly 50% of it. So very bad. This new one is going to be great. I'm excited to get it operational. Screen. We'll start with this big harness. Make sure you line it up right and make sure that this is facing up like that. And as we press it down, it's going to kind of start swinging on its own. We'll push it until it clicks in place. We'll do this gray connector next, followed by the purple one, the brown and teal one, the white one, and this other purple one. And that is it. So we can then, I'm already getting my fingerprints on the new one, we can then flip this back up into place here. You may need to push the harnesses around in the back a little bit to get it to fit. Now we're going to turn the ignition on and we're going to make sure this thing works. Already looking good, except it took that. So there we go. I think that this is appearing to be great, so we're going to get everything buttoned up and then we'll verify that it's still working. We'll grab our 4 screws here. We'll install the dash bezel. I've moved the vents back into their spots and clipped them in place here, as well as the couple little metal fasteners. We'll line it all up and we'll firmly press in and work our way around. I believe that's all in there. We'll power it up here. And it looks like it is operational and the screen looks great. Definitely looks like an excellent replacement. Time will tell. I will put any updates down in the description if we have any problems with this one. But for the time being, I think this was a success. I would say that is a very DIY friendly install. Anyone could easily do this. No special tools required and not any special skills either. Very easy. At this point, I would highly recommend this screen replacement on this 8.4-inch Uconnect system.